So it was bound to happen eventually. And day 3 Washington Commanders training camp is when Jayden Daniels threw his first interception. That and more on today's episode of Locked On Commanders.
You are Locked On Commanders, your daily podcast on the Washington Commanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, everybody, to today's episode of Locked On Commanders, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, David Harrison, credential member of the media covering the Washington Commanders for Sports Illustrated's CommanderGameDay.com. Of course, I'm here with you every Monday through Friday. Greatly appreciate you coming through today. Everydayers greatly appreciate all of you for coming through every day. This is your daily podcast covering the Washington Commanders. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe for free on YouTube or wherever you are listening to this episode. On today's episode, we're going to hear from Washington Commanders offensive lineman Brandon Coleman, and we're going to hear from defensive back Tariq Castro-Fields. I'm going to share some news and some notes from today's practice on Friday. We're also going to go over my quote of the day from quarterback Jayden Daniels. And of course, we're starting it all off with Jayden Daniels' first interception of training camp. I was asked by a YouTube viewer if we're going to do like a Howl watch like we did last year during training camp. And this year, I think it's pretty reasonable to expect that every single day we're probably going to talk about Jayden Daniels, how he did, what he's doing, how he's looking, all of those things. I don't really have a word for it, Daniels watch or eye on the Tiger, right? He's an LSU Tiger, so maybe get a little bit cute there. But yes, we will be talking about Jayden Daniels, I imagine, every single day here at training camp practice. Pretty important player, pretty important position. And of course, we're going to start off today's episode with Jayden Daniels. If you want to discuss this, anything else Washington Commanders related, or if you've got questions you just simply need answers to, all you got to do is reach out and text me. I'm your friend here on ground in Ashburn, Virginia, so you can text me anytime, ask me whatever you want, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. All you got to do, go to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnCommanders. Become a Locked On Commanders insider today. From there, you'll be able to text me. I'll be able to text you. No apps to download, no hashtags to use, no filters to worry about. It's just your text message, my text message. We communicate that way. Saturday, we are going to have an insider Zoom conference. We had one last Saturday, went really well, so we're going to do it again this Saturday. So if you want to be a part of that, we'll all get together. You'll ask your questions. We'll just discuss Washington Commanders football, and we'll go from there. Join subtext.com/LockedOnCommanders to become a part of that today. LinkedIn Jobs is a sponsor for today's episode. They help you find qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. So post your job for free at LinkedIn.com/LockedOnNFL. That's LinkedIn.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. It took 3 days and an errant pass, but Jayden Daniels did finally throw his first interception of training camp. And look, it was going to happen eventually. Hopefully everybody out there has got a level head about it. And overall, it was just kind of a down day here at training camp for the Washington Commanders offense. Not just Jayden Daniels, but other players. Marcus Mariota was throwing some passes in the dirt that he certainly doesn't usually, or you wouldn't expect him to. Even the third team with Jeff Driscoll, Jeff Driscoll, first quarterback in the team's drills to throw a touchdown pass today, that going to Jeremy McNichols. We'll talk more about him here in just a little bit. Jahan Dotson had a drop. There were some other drops out there. But overall, Jayden Daniels, 2 for 5 in the team drills, did throw that interception. Also had his first rushing touchdown of training camp, but we'll talk about that as well here in a little bit. First time on the field in 11s, second team offense for Jayden Daniels. Went 0 for 1, left side dig route targeted to Demarion Davis, the wide receiver, and that pass was intercepted by Michael Davis. Now, we don't have the benefit of replay, all those things, so I only get the real-time look at it. And from there, I got to make my analysis, give you my opinions of what happened. And I still think, and there were some other people out here who saw the interception that agree with me, that if that's Terry McLaurin, or maybe even if it's Jahan Dotson, it's a receiver who maybe goes a little bit more aggressively over a ball that was admittedly thrown ahead of the receiver. But if you give up the body, if you go out for it, stretch out for it, perhaps you turn into a defender. May not be a completion, but I think it prevents the interception. Either way, at the end of the day, the ball comes out of Jayden's hand. It's his responsibility. Ball's intercepted by Michael Davis, who's one of the guys that we presume competing for a starting cornerback job. So you know that he's happy to get that with the second team defense there. And what I really liked is there was no next play. Jayden Daniels and the second team offense, they were off the field. There was no, okay, shake it off next play. It was shake it off next drive, which is exactly what happens in a real NFL game. So I'm really happy that the coaching staff made that decision, took them off the field, took the second team off the field. Jeff Driscoll and the third team offense came on the field, and they were able to get the first touchdown of the day, like I said. Next time Jayden came out with the 11s, he was with the first team. First pass, quick pass to the left side to tight end Cole Turner, who obviously was getting some first team run as well. Second play of the drive, they actually they called a run play, a quarterback run play for Jayden. And what was really interesting / impressive about that rep specifically is Jayden actually stumbled. He got the ball, went to take off, stumbled a little bit, but still, because of his speed, because of his athleticism and quickness, was still able to get around the edge of the offensive line before the defense ever even got near him. So thinking about how quick you have to be as a quarterback, that you're tucking the ball to run, the defense sees it, you are still getting up the field vertically before the defense is able to fully react and close it around you. So just a really good example of his athleticism and his quickness. That drive stalled out as well. Third time he got on the field in 11s, it was second team red zone time. First pass was an incomplete pass to the left side. It was a fade route to Olamide Zaccheaus going up against cornerback Michael Davis. I would contend that it would be a dropped pass from Olamide Zaccheaus, but still, no matter what, 0 for 1 incompletion. The second pass was actually a dead play. So I've told you guys before, I don't chart dead plays. I don't chart sacks, all these things. Now, Dante Fowler Jr. came off the left side of the defense, right side of the offense, incredibly quick. I don't know if I've seen a defensive man get into the backfield quicker than that in a very long time. Got in there really quickly. Jayden Daniels did what he could to kind of avoid the defender. Don't know if he would have gotten away if it was full contact or not. Obviously, Dante Fowler Jr. not really trying to get in there and hit his quarterback, his teammate, right? So I can't really tell you that right now, but I called it a dead play. It was a pass call, but like I said, dead play on the field. So next pass, 0 for 2, left side over to Zach Ertz. Daniels was late on the pass. Bottom line, that he was just late on the route, late identifying Zach Ertz coming open over the middle. The ball was accurate, like as far as like Jayden Daniels being high or inaccurate on over the middle throws or intermediate passing area throws. The ball was on point, but it was late, which gave cornerback Tariq Castro-Fields, who you'll hear from here in just a little bit, the opportunity to jump the route. Almost came up with a really nice interception, so should have been 2 interceptions on the day. So that's 2 turnover-worthy passes thrown by Jayden Daniels, if you're keeping track. Next time Jayden came out on the field for 11s, he was with the first team, back in the red zone drill. Big run by Austin Eckler off of a check by Jayden Daniels. Came to the line. Jayden surveyed the defense. I actually was watching the defense too, and I'll tell you, I can't really lay out what they were looking like in their formation. But I saw that formation. I was like, man, I don't know as a quarterback, I don't know what you're thinking or what you're looking at, because it looked like they could have been bringing 11 dudes. Might even be able to bring 12 dudes. Somehow they're cheating, but either way. So Jayden Daniels checks out of the play. Later on, he told a story about how Bobby Wagner, he heard him check and kind of knew what was coming, but wasn't able to stop it either way. Austin Eckler rips off a really big run for the team in the red zone drill. Then he throws a slant to the left side of the field to Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, the undrafted free agent receiver out of Georgia. Got down to the goal line, nearly got in the end zone, didn't quite get there. Very next play, it's an option read for Jayden Daniels. He holds the ball out into Brian Robinson's gut, decides to pull it, takes it in himself for a rushing touchdown. I text my insiders when that happened, Jayden Daniels' first rushing touchdown in training camp, and was asked by multiple insiders, yeah, but is it a practice rushing touchdown where the defense just can't hit him? And, but if they could, they probably would have stopped him, or it was a legit rushing touchdown. I would tell you that the hole was there. Jayden hit the hole. No, the defense never had an opportunity to potentially stop him from scoring that touchdown. So first rushing touchdown of training camp for Jayden Daniels. We also heard from Jayden after practice. He talks about how coming in early really works for him to get his day started, get into his rhythm before practice starts. He confirmed with us that he's still using the virtual reality training system program that he was using at LSU. Also sounds like some of the other veteran quarterbacks are getting in on that as well. And the most fun moment of the press conference, Mike Sainristil, University of Michigan rookie cornerback here for the Washington Commanders, coming in and invading the press conferences, like to put in, asking Jayden what would have happened if LSU and Michigan faced off. So a fun moment there. We got another Jayden Daniels quote coming up as my quote of the day. Of course, if you want to see that press conference with Jayden Daniels, the Washington Commanders stream it all on YouTube, so you can go find it on their YouTube page. But we're going to talk about Jayden Daniels' quote of the day. We're also going to talk about some other news and notes from day 3 of training camp practice coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Commanders, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today's episode of Locked On Commanders is brought to you by LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you're going to want to find quality professionals that are right for the role you're trying to hire for, and that's why you need to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. But LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn helps you find professionals that you can't find anywhere else. You can even find professionals that aren't actively seeking roles or other jobs. If your role is perfect for them, they may be open to taking that job. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't ever visit another leading job site. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're only looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get qualified candidates within 24 hours. So hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might not have the time to resource or hire. LinkedIn is going to constantly find ways to make that process easier. They've even just launched a feature that helps you write your job descriptions, making the process even easier and faster. 2.5 small businesses are looking or using LinkedIn for hiring. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Some trends are starting to take place here at Washington Commanders training camp. We may be getting some insight into some roster spots and how they're going to be filled. That's coming up next on today's episode. Thank you for making Locked On Commanders your first listen of the day every day. Every day, thanks for coming through. Make sure you come back on Sunday. We will have another training camp practice, so I will be dropping an episode Sunday after practice. So that'll be coming to you early Sunday afternoon. In the meantime, if you need more sports coverage, check out Locked On Sports Today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming and drama, just news and information, insight, can't miss analysis from local experts on the Locked On Podcast Network, all streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Turning now to some other news and notes from the practice. Like I said, the entire offense, for the most part, pretty much struggled, right? Marcus Mariota, even when he was in there with the second-team offense, first-team offense, things like that, he also had some struggles, also threw some bad passes. I would say for the most part, as a quarterback, I think Marcus Mariota probably had the worst day for the quarterbacks. Now, again, Jayden Daniels threw the interception. Marcus Mariota didn't throw any interceptions, but a lot of Marcus's incompletions were dirt balls. They were passes that you just kind of tell he was overthrowing them in the sense that he was trying to put too much on it, kind of aiming it instead of just throwing it, almost pushing it instead of tossing it, if that all makes sense, and just kind of resulted in some ugly passes that should have been otherwise better or possible completions. He was victimized, however. Marcus very early on, first team set that Marcus ran with the first team offense, should have hit Jahan Dotson over the middle for a touchdown pass, but Jahan Dotson just let the ball go through his fingers, let the ball hit the ground. And again, Jayden Daniels later was victimized by a drop as well. So it just was kind of an all-around rough day for a lot of members of the offense, not just the quarterback specifically. First team left tackle, Cornelius Lucas. So here to start training camp off, it looks like Cornelius Lucas is going to get the majority of those reps. Again, we're very early in this process, so there is a trend developing. And that's really kind of what we're looking for as we get through these, not just the first week, not even the first 2 weeks. As we get into these joint practices, preseason games, you start to just kind of notice, okay, well, this guy's just consistently getting left tackle reps, or this guy's consistently getting on the field with this unit, and all these other things kind of lends a little bit of evidence into what this coaching staff thinks of that person or that position group. So Cornelius Lucas continuing to get first team left tackle reps, certainly something to pay attention to, something that we noticed. Nick Allegretti continuing to get first team left guard work. Emmanuel Forbes continuing to get the majority of first team cornerback work opposite of Benjamin St. Juste. Michael Davis is certainly getting in there, and I don't have a blow for blow, snap for snap count, but if I had to estimate just off of what we're witnessing out here, I'd probably say that Emmanuel Forbes is taking about 80% of the first team reps here in team drills so far for the Washington Commanders. So reading into that what you will. Some people think, well, they're just giving him the opportunity. He's a first round draft pick. He's obviously younger, so he's got more longevity if he can be a starter in this league. So give him more opportunity to come out here and show that he either can do the job or maybe show that he's not the right man for the job. Michael Davis, the veteran, maybe doesn't need as many reps. So there's certainly some thoughts, and maybe that's what's happening here. There's also some thoughts that maybe they just think Emmanuel Forbes could be a better fit in this defense than he was in the last defense. So we'll continue to look over those, continue to watch him from time to time. I always can't focus on everybody, every rep, but when we do watch him, honestly, he doesn't look too terrible. But he also didn't look too terrible at this point in training camp last year. So we've got to continue that evaluation process. Again, Marcus Mariota victimized in the red zone by 2 drops, not just one. Jahan Dotson had the big one that could have gone for a touchdown. Cole Turner, tight end, was also getting some first-team reps. And again, you have to take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm certainly not saying that Cole Turner is competing for the number 1 tight end job, but obviously they want to get him out there. They want to see what he can do with some of these other guys. And, of course, the big thing for him in this season for him is going to be that blocking ability. How much better has he gotten as a blocker? When the pads come on, we'll see all that. Today was a little bit more physical. The effort and the aggression was definitely ramped up a little bit. They weren't full-blown hitting each other by any means, but they did have shells on, and they were contacting each other a little bit more than usual. Cole Turner getting some opportunities to work there. First red zone TD, Jeff Driscoll was passed to running back Jeremy McNichols. And Jeremy McNichols is a name that we've talked about a couple of times already in training camp. I wrote about this for CommanderGameDay.com on Sports Illustrated. And Jeremy McNichols is one of those guys, along with Chris Rodriguez Jr., that are kind of leading that race to be that number 3 running back. And I think right now the reps are about even for McNichols and Chris Rodriguez, but the plays that are being made are certainly leaning more towards Jeremy McNichols at this point in juncture and compared to Chris Rodriguez. He had that quote-unquote game-winning touchdown in the clock drive, game management drive scenario with Jayden Daniels yesterday. Today, he has the first touchdown of the team session, connecting with quarterback Jeff Driscoll. Brandon Coleman, rookie offensive lineman, we'll just call him for right now, certainly got some second team left tackle work, but he also got first team work at right tackle. Andrew Wiley was actually out for a period of time. No news on any injuries. So Andrew Wiley was off the field. Brandon Coleman getting some reps there. You'll hear us talk to Brandon Coleman here in just a little bit and ask his opinions of getting those first team reps here on Friday. And then we've got our quote of the day coming from rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels, who was asked during his post-practice press conference about whether or not he would just rather be named the starter and kind of get that out of the way if that would make him a little bit more comfortable. And here's what Jayden had to say. He said, quote, "No, I mean, I like competing. I'm a competitor. So regardless if I was announced to the starter or not, you still got to compete. You still can't be content of your job, comfortable, and think it's just your job, and you've sealed the deal. You've got to go out there and compete. So for me, it's not a problem at all. I like competing. That's up to DQ, Dan Quinn, and AP, Adam Peters, for the decisions and stuff like that. But for me, I can control how hard I go out there and practice and how I compete," end quote. So a lot of use of the word compete there. Jayden Daniels clearly enjoys competing, being a competitor, certainly competing on the field. And what I will tell you is, following that first interception of training camp, no ho-hum, no woe is me, no lack of effort, no overly anxious responses. You always look at a young quarterback, you're like, all right, first time you've quote-unquote been hit in the mouth, right? Obviously, he wasn't actually hit, but first time you've had kind of a bad throw, had that interception, how do you come out? Are you going to overcorrect, try to do too much? All those things. Jayden Daniels looked like Jayden Daniels from that point on. There were still some struggles, so that's the unfortunate part, but never saw it really get to him. Unflappable is a word that kind of comes to mind. Coming up next, you're going to hear from rookie offensive lineman Brandon Coleman, and you're going to hear from cornerback Tariq Castro-Fields as we wrap up today's episode of Locked On Commanders, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today's episode of Locked On Commanders brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience, that's what it takes to bring home the Lombardi Trophy for any NFL franchise. eBay Motors knows that's also what it takes to keep your ride or die vehicle alive. And eBay Motors has got everything you need to maintain that vehicle or even level it up to peak performance. Whether you're looking for superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, anything you're looking for, whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. And with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you're always going to find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or you get your money back. Because with eBay Motors, they want you burning rubber out there, not cash. Although, burn rubber in a safe way, please. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. We've got a couple of Washington Commander player interviews to wrap up today's episode. The first one, third-year Washington Commanders cornerback Tariq Castro-Fields. Donna Hopkins of Pro Football Plus and I interviewed him coming off the practice field. Tariq, new year, new opportunities, man. How do you feel? Where do you feel like you've grown from last season to this season the most?
Just confidence. Just trying to go out here every day and just keep proving myself and just keep getting better every day. So it's more fun.
Absolutely. And then, of course, out here, right, we're all worried about first team reps, second team rep, third team reps, all that stuff. You're kind of bouncing around, getting some work with multiple units, right? How are you feeling intermingling with not just the different units, but also this new style of play under Joe Witt? I'm
just happy I'm getting reps and just keep getting comfortable under the system and getting opportunities to make plays and keep showing who I am as a player. So it's good.
Absolutely. So you got to be honest, right? Yeah. I saw you get that nice PBU. You're covering Terry McLaurin, right? Number one guy on the team. You get that nice PBU on him. How's that feel?
I mean, whoever steps in front of me, I just want to do my job.
Yeah.
And just keep improving every day. So.
I got you. What's your impressions of the new vibes around the team with the new coaching staff?
Amazing. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been learning a whole lot in the DB room. Learning a lot in the defensive room, special teams, you name it. Everything's been real well. So.
Awesome. You checked out that college football game yet?
I have. I played a little bit.
You play a Penn State whiteout game yet?
No, I haven't played with it. I used Penn State on the game, but
yeah.
I try not to use it.
So, I'm a Buckeye fan. Okay. So I took the Buckeyes in there for a whiteout game. I got we're on the show. I got my butt kicked, bro. I got my butt kicked. Y'all would have been proud.
That home field advantage.
Oh, it's crazy. It's legit.
What has you talk about you learning a lot? What has that learning been like? Some of the things that really stand out that is new that you're learning that's going to help progress your play.
I wouldn't say new, but just attention to detail, just route concepts and formation rec is really important. So trying to make sure every time I come out here, not only do I like come out here physically, but also turn my brain and mentally be there as well.
Talk about just from last year to this year and some of the things that you can see take place that you said, oh yeah, I see that I'm better at this year and I'm grasping this even more so.
Yeah. Just be able to jump things here and there, just playing smarter, just competing more. I think that's the main thing. Just put your best foot forward and take on the day. So that's what I would try to do.
Competition is everything you talked about. And out there, you can see a lot of competition out there. Talk a little bit about that and what you're seeing from these guys.
Yeah, I mean, every day, no matter who you go against, ones, twos, threes, whatever it may be, the guy across from you is going to try to give you his best shot. So you better come with your lunch pad and work. So it's more fun.
Your 10 lunch pail, right?
Yeah.
But could you talk about just the difference that you're seeing in the backfield this year? And I know that it's early right now, but what are you seeing right now as far as from that secondary?
Yeah. A lot of communication, and then we're just all gelling. No matter who's in, whether it's Chin back there with Perk or Revo back there with Quan, you name it, everyone's just trying to make sure we're out there, we're all regardless of what guys are having positions.
They told me when I talked to the defense, they said we are a chatty bunch of guys, and that's what we're seeing is the most is just being chatty.
Yeah, I mean that's real important. Just make sure everybody on the same page. You're gonna play faster as long as the person to the left or right knows what they're doing. I mean, you know what you're doing. You're gonna play with confidence. And you're gonna fly around, which is the most important thing.
Do you see that as a difference as far as just the communication? We're talking more this year with each other because that is so key in the secondary that if you don't talk, I mean, you may be all over the place and then trusting the other guy to be where he's supposed to be.
It's definitely an emphasis. Coach Witt and our DB coaches definitely emphasize it. And also, I mean, you can help the dude out to the left of you. He might be like got a pass called on him, wherever it may be, where he's not all the way there. So I can easily tell him what he's doing and ready to rock and roll. So that's what they're just emphasizing next year a lot more.
You sound like you're having fun. When I look at your face and when I see you talk about that, it's almost like talking about your favorite dessert. That's what I'm seeing on your face and hearing from you when you talk about this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing just to be out here. I mean, I'm going on year 3, so just trying to keep stacking these days and just keep improving. I mean, it's fun to be out here. We're blessed.
Yeah, and one last thing. What is it in the 3 years, and this is your 3rd year, where have you improved the most in your game?
I feel like it's hard to kind of pinpoint, but I feel like mentally, getting older, not that old, but, you know, I'm growing up, becoming a man, so just trying to make sure I'm always here mentally and locking in each day and be a pro about everything, whether it's meetings, practice, recovery, getting a routine, just trying to learn from all the guys that we have in here that have done an amazing job in this league for a long time. Just trying to just take all their things that they've been telling me and just trying to stay consistent every day. I think that's the main point, that you have to be consistent. No matter if you have a good day out here or a bad day, just make sure you always just hit it.
And last but not least, also coming off the practice field, Linnell Willingham at 106.7, the Fan here in Washington, D.C., caught up with rookie offensive lineman Brandon Coleman.
Brandon, how you feeling, man? 3 days into your first NFL camp.
Yeah, feeling good. You know, it feels good to be back out here, be able to play some ball, be around the guys. You know, that's what you're working on the whole offseason. Being here is really exciting.
Saw you get some opportunities with the first team at right tackle today. I know left tackle is the primary position you played in college. Any difference from you playing on the left and the right, and are you comfortable there if that's where you're called upon?
Yeah, you know, my philosophy always was, even in college, like, just be ready wherever to play at. I've been kind of practicing that in the offseason in college, you know, working all spots other than really center. And, you know, coach put me out there, and obviously you got to knock the rest up, but, you know, being able to be out there and be comfortable is what I try to stay ready for. You never know where you're going to play at.
Saw you guys installing some screen stuff pre-practice. How do you feel about being a big elephant on parade, man, getting on the move out in open field?
Yeah, you know, screens are always exciting. You know, being able to just use my speed, be able to out there run, you You know, I'm able to keep up with most of the guys out there, linebackers, all that stuff. So being out there and showing that is really great.
So you're talking with O-line coach Bobby Johnson, OG, after practice. What has your relationship been with him, and how has he helped you transition to this point?
Yeah, obviously, you know, he's been cornerstone to like kind of getting used to everything with the vets. So, you know, I try to go to him every day, kind of get some tips. You know, there's some stuff I have to correct today during practice, and not always so to him or the state and Shane. You know, our coaches, they're really great about helping us and giving us pointers to pull in the next practice. So, kind of working and talking with him about what to put in for Sunday.
You know, Brandon, out here we're always all concerned about first team reps, second team reps. But for you, what are you most concerned about on a daily basis?
Yeah, you know, obviously everybody wants to play, everyone wants to get on the field, but right now, especially, you know, now leading up to the season, we're just about getting on the field, being able to get my reps and get around the guys. You know, I'm just trying to help out the team as I can. If it's a starter, if it's just coming in on a jumbo, if it's whatever it is, you know, I'm just trying to help the team out, and that's kind of my mindset and what I do.
And of course, every time someone switches sides of the line of scrimmage, even if for a rep here or there, the conversation always comes up. It's like wiping your butt with the opposite hand, right? That's like the famous comparison. Is it really like that, or is it really that difficult to play both sides of the line if you're asked to?
I don't think so. You know, like I said, it's really about me being able to work that throughout all my off season. You know, that's something that I pride myself on, is being ready for whatever. And that's why moments like this moments come up in the game. You might play left tackle like I did during the season in 22 for all season. Then I have to jump over for right for 2 reps or something like that. So you got to be ready for that. And that's what I kind of prepare myself on every day.
And did the Commanders kind of tell you, like, hey, make sure you're staying ready for both sides of the line, left tackle, right tackle, inside a little bit, or did they kind of just let you just focus in on what your strong suits are?
You know, they just have me wherever they have me. They don't really tell me to stay ready for everything, but that's something that I just, like I said, pride myself on, is to stay ready for whatever, and carry that into every day.
And then where do you feel like you're getting the most out of your NFL coaching so far?
You know, it's really about like being more mature on the field. What I mean by that is not overthinking stuff. You know, they're very good about letting us know, like, you're here for a reason. Just focus on your craft. You know, every day from the first day to now, kind of hone more in on being able to just perfect one thing at a time, being focused on certain things rather than overthinking the whole field. So they're really good about, you know, keeping our minds kind of controlled. You know how rookies get when they first get out there, and they've been really good about giving us confidence, supporting us as staff.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Again, next full episode coming on Sunday, so make sure you come back for that following our first practice of week 2 here at Washington Commanders Training Camp. In the meantime, if you got questions or comments, just throw them down in the YouTube comment section or text me directly after becoming a Locked On Commanders insider at joinsubtext.com/LockedOnCommanders. Do it before noon on Saturday, noon Eastern time on Saturday. You can jump into the Insider Zoom, ask me any questions that you didn't get answered from the first week of training camp, any clarifying topics. Just have good football conversation with good people. Don't forget to also check out Locked On Sports Today, the first ever 24/7 live streaming sports channel on YouTube. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Commanders your first listen of the day, every day. Every day, thank you for coming through on a regular basis like you do. And until we speak again, if you're out and about, please be safe, be kind, and we will see you back here next time for another episode of Locked On Commanders, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.